Are you married? Are you tired? Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? Well, this one's for you. Hi, I'm Joy, and welcome back to She Builds Her Home. In this channel, we discuss homemaking productivity and positivity. Today's video will be a super positive one about how to reduce fighting with your spouse. I'm so excited about today's video because thanks be to God, I'm married to my high school sweetheart, and these days we rarely ever fight. I would like to share some tips with you because that wasn't always the case, and God willing, they work for you as well. Let's jump right in. Tip number 1, the 5-year rule. What you're fighting about, will it matter in 5 years? If it won't, let it go. It's not benefiting you or your marriage or glorifying God if you're a believer. If it's not going to impact your marriage and your children in the long run, just let it go. It's not worth it. We're in this together. We're in this forever. Let's be wise, and if it doesn't matter in 5 years, let's choose to let it go. The next one is focus on the good. Could things be worse? Absolutely. Thankfully, they're not. So let's choose to focus on what is going right. Let's try to find a silver lining. There's always one in every situation. Let's focus on the good and think about how can we make more of that in our marriage. What about this is good? Nothing? Think harder. There's always something, even if it's the smallest snippet of a thing. There's always something good. And when you focus on the good, you'll find more of it. Next one is choose your battles. No one wants to live in a constant war. That's very stressful. Nobody wants to feel like they're walking on eggshells. So let's be wise and let us choose our battle. It takes two to tango. If we don't choose to engage in the fight, it's a less likely chance of it to happen. You may feel like you're right, and you might be, but do you want to be right or do you want to be married? It's actually a very good book by Adam Shapiro based just on that. It's a very good read. I highly recommend it. I'll link it down below if you like. There's a lot of times that it's just not worth engaging in. Focus. Choose your battles, huh? It'll be worth it. The next one is imagine life without them. God forbid if something happened to your spouse. How would that feel like? If they can never, ever be seen again. Never hold them. Never be able to talk to them. That would be so sad. We would be so thankful for them right now if we could picture it like that. Just try to imagine what life would be like without them, and you'll realize that that fight just doesn't matter. It really doesn't. It's better to enjoy them in the moment right now than to be fighting, and that would really put things into perspective. So the next one is to be teammates. Marriage is 100%, fully committed. So be sure that you're playing fair even when they're not. Make sure that you always do the right thing, are always looking out for their best interest, even if not. I doubt that they're deliberately trying to annoy us, but in case that they are, still, even if they're not playing fair, you do your part. You play fair. You'll be the teammate that you want them to be. Hardly anyone will continue to act mean to someone who's being nice to them. But even if they are, you do your 100%, and that will surely pay off. Just let it go. Give it to God. He'll take care of the rest. You do your 100%. Commit. Be a great team player. Hopefully they'll join in. But if not, you're doing your part. That's all you can focus on right now. What's so funny? Oh, nothing. I'm just laughing it off. Try to make light of every situation that you can. Obviously, some things are more serious, but the ones that are lighter, just try to laugh it off right then and there. It will ease the tension, not at the expense of making them feel bad, of course not. But if you can read the room in the situation, just try to make things more cheery and upbeat. I doubt that they want to fight also, and they might just jump in and what could have turned into a big and ugly fight, you guys are now laughing in the kitchen. Try it. What do you have to lose? You have nothing to lose and laughter to gain. Quirks. Everybody has them. So the next one is accept them with their quirks, just as you want somebody to accept yours. God made us all different. Did someone take you hostage and force you into marriage? No. If yes, I'm so sorry. If you didn't have an arranged marriage and no one held you hostage, you knew what you were signing up for. So accept them as they are. Sometimes you may have to take a deep breath. So just let them be who they are. I'm not talking about if they're doing something that's immoral, not right. That's a little bit different. I'm talking about how they chew, whether they jiggle their leg or not. Just try to accept them for who they are and their little quirks. That's what makes us unique, you know? We don't want to take their individuality. We want them to feel free to be themselves. The next one is don't fight back. Make sure that you're not engaging or fighting back. Obviously, don't make them feel bad and don't belittle them. There's ways to express ourselves in a way that can get the message through, like, hey, I don't want to fight. I'm not ignoring you. You know your spouse the best. You know how it is that you can deal with him in a way that is the best suited for that possible moment. Take a deep breath. Do not engage. I once heard this humorous story of a couple who went to counseling. The man didn't want to go, and the woman was explaining how no matter what she does, her husband always wanted to fight with her, and they would always get into these big blow-off fights. So the counselor recommended that the woman take some water into her mouth and just swish it around. And with that, the woman went back and she said, look, I don't know what this is, but it's totally working. How come this is working? And the counselor says, well, you're not able to speak with water in your mouth, are you? Therefore, reduce the fights. And this one is just a jokeful story, but really, if we don't engage in the fights, it reduces most of the fights. If you know someone who can use these tips, please share with them so that everyone may have happier marriages. The next one is fight fire with water. Yes, that's right. Fight fire with water. When they're very heated, don't engage, don't proceed, do not pass go, do not collect $200. Just try to cool them off if you can. Once again, you know your spouse better, so you know how to deal with when they get to a certain boiling point. But just like when we feel angry, any little thing can cause us to lash out. We need to practice the self-control that the Lord has given us. We also need to put ourselves in the other person's shoes and just know like when to back off. I'm not saying be a doormat. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying there's a time and a place. You can catch more flies with honey. The point is, be nice person. They are not our enemies. Things when they get extra heated, just cool it down. Add some water to the situation. You just want to let things cool. Don't be a doormat. But also do not fan those flames. These are not the kind of flames we want to fan in our marriage. Romantic flames, yes. Fighting flames, no. And again, it doesn't matter if you're right. Once again, the book, Adam Shapiro, check it out. I'll link it down below. Do you want to be right or do you want to be married? I don't know about you, but I'd rather be married. Once again, I'm not saying to be a doormat. It's important to express our opinions to our husband, but just be mindful. The same for you. If you feel, hey, right now I'm too upset, explain to your husband. We will deal with this, I promise. We won't go to bed angry. Just, take a deep breath, cool off, whatever you have to do, and then take a beat and back to it. Some people don't like when you walk away in the middle of the fight. They don't like it. I don't like it. But sometimes people do need to take a breath. So a perfect compromise that seems to work is that, we'll stay in the perimeter of each other, but we might not exactly say something at the moment because we don't want to say anything we'll regret. It never gets to this, thanks be to God. But if ever we have like a disagreement and we need a beat, we just take it. We don't leave each other, but also we don't, be careful with the mouth. The last one for right now is to have a common goal that you're working towards together. Or have a vision for your marriage. That way you'll let things that could have turned into little fights just roll off the shoulder, because you have a much bigger vision and a direction where you're going. If you're a believer, pray for God to reveal this to you. Otherwise, you can just focus. What is it that we want, honey? Let's write it down. Write the vision, make it plain. Just focus on that vision. That way you don't have time for petty fights, because you guys are working to building something together. Right now, this is not the time for fighting, and you're working towards something, so that way the fights will just like roll, you'll let them roll off the shoulder, because right now there's bigger fish to fry. I'm not saying to fry fish, please. But seriously, have a vision that you guys are working for together. That way you're like just doing life together and not just like next to each other, and will reduce a lot of fights that could occur. Well, so there you have it. Those are all the tips for now. Stay tuned. There's a lot more where that came from. I will end it here for now because I know we all have homemaking to do. Oh, by the way, make sure that if you haven't done your decluttered for today, rewind the video, start over one of my last videos. Use it like as in the background to do your decluttering. And stay tuned. I will release the next video, God willing, in a few days. So click here to see the last video or how to love homemaking. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, to God be the glory. Bye.